Hi, I'm Adil, and today I'm doing something a lot of you have been asking for. I'm making a short film starring me, with my own voice, entirely with AI. I'll show you the exact workflow I use for making short films, from brainstorming the idea to the final cut. I'm using nothing but Higgsfield. No camera, no crew, no $50,000 production budget. Just Soul Cinema for generating the images, Higgsfield Audio for the voice, and Cinema Studio to bring everything to life. By the end of this video, you're gonna have a complete framework you can use to make your own short film. But first, let's see what I've made.
Happy birthday, my little princess. Want a cupcake or a parade, maybe?
It's just a regular day, man. Nothing special.
Yeah, don't sound too excited. We can call dispatch, have them sing for you.
Please don't. I'm trying to keep a low profile.
Princess turns a year older. That's paperwork.
Great. Added to the report. Subject survived another year.
So what's the plan today? No alcohol, right?
Ah, man.
You know where I celebrate my birthday every year.
No. Why should I?
Little Central Asian spot on 5th, plastic tables. Soup so hot it files a complaint.
Sounds nice.
Best noodles you ever had, you know what they call them?
Noodles?
Nah, man, they got a name. Fancy. Cultural.
Lag, man.
Like what?
Unit 12, we got a 17 in progress. Possible homicide, 1738 on scene.
1738, roger that. Is that a cop car?
Yeah, might be.
You go first, I'll cover the back.
Surprise, honey.
Most people start with a prompt. That's the wrong move. Start with a feeling. For this film, I asked myself one question. What's a story with real emotional stakes? Something an audience actually feels. Not what looks cool, what'll get views. What's a story worth telling? I landed on this. A cop who suffers from depression. It's his birthday, and his close ones try to cheer him up. That's it. 3 sentences, that's your entire foundation. From here, I mapped out 3 scenes. First, the locker room. Quiet, intimate. His partner notices something's off. Second, the patrol car. Casual, a little tense. His partner tries to cheer him up. Third, the surprise. The moment everything shifts. Setup, midpoint, climax. You don't need more than that for a short film. Okay, first thing, the AI needs to know my face. Let's head over to Higgsfield and select character. I'm uploading 20 photos of myself, different angles, different lighting. The more variety I give it, the better the results are gonna be. And done. The model learned my face, and now I have my personal Soul ID that I can drop into literally any scene from here on out. I wanna start with a hero shot. The cop, me. I'm going into Soul Cinema. This thing generates cinematic images by default. I don't have to do anything special. It just comes out that way. I promise you, it's a game changer. My prompt is simple. A close-up of an American policeman. And I have my Soul ID selected here. Yeah, that one. The grain on it, the background falling out of focus. There's something tired in that face. That's the guy we're following. Now, here's the thing. When I start animating this character, I need him, or I guess me, to look the same from every angle. Same face, same uniform. So I'm taking this image into Nano Banana Pro to generate a character sheet. The face, the accessories, the clothing, everything has to be in the character sheet. The prompt I'm using is pretty long, so I'll leave the full thing in the description, but essentially, I'm locking in every detail of this character so nothing drifts. All right, fantastic. Now, I need someone who actually shows up for this guy. Same prompt, but this time, I'm not selecting Soul ID. This isn't me, it's a new person entirely. Let's see what we get. Okay, look at this. For how simple the prompt was, the faces are production ready. The color grading, the skin texture, even the way the light is falling on them. This is the kind of result you normally have to work really hard for to get out of a model. Because I guarantee you, if I went to Nano Banana Pro with the same prompt, I'd get plastic every time. That's just how it is over there. Soul Cinema does this by default. Anyway, this one, I don't know, he just looks like someone you'd want around. Like that one cop from literally any movie ever. I feel like he'd show up with a cake and pretend it's not a big deal. That's the friend. Let's name him Dave. And running the same character sheet on him too, same process. Okay, location time. Scene 1 starts in a locker room. This is before the birthday, before the friends, before any of that. Just him. Soul Cinema again. A wide shot of a locker room with blue lockers. I like that. There's something cold about those blue lockers. Institutional, you know what I mean? Nobody's around. Perfect. I'm also generating a prop sheet with the same prompt from earlier. I just want to make sure the environment stays consistent across every shot on this scene. Okay, now we animate. I'm going to Cinema Studio and doing a multi-shot for scene 1. This means I can string multiple shots together in one go. Different angles, different camera movements, all in the same scene. That's how you build something that actually feels like a film. First thing I'm doing is I'm uploading my character sheet and my prop sheet as references. And here you can name each element, give them a description, and choose a type. All right, shot 1, I'm giving it 7 seconds and selecting handheld camera move. That slight handheld shake really matters for this story. And for the prompt, policeman in uniform, reference my character, enters the locker room with blue lockers, reference the location, the policeman, reference again, stops in front of one of the lockers with his back to the camera. Something I've started doing, I describe the image, then drop the reference. It anchors the model to what you're actually trying to describe before it pulls from the reference. This way you get noticeably better results. Okay, shot 2, 5 seconds, and static camera this time. POV shot from the bottle inside the locker. Policeman opens the locker, reaches for the bottle, and then stops. I'm adding the bottle here as a little anchor to that depression narrative. That way the viewers can kind of tell what's coming next. And look, that's me in that shot. Even though I wasn't in the start frame, it's honestly impressive every time I see it. And here's a game changer tip that you have to start using today. In the second scene here, Clean 3.0 generated a shot from inside the locker. And honestly, it would be such a pain to generate it on my own. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot of that scene and then use a prop sheet when generating the next scene. So we start from within the locker and then Clean can come up with the rest of the locker using the prop sheet. Shot 1 is static. We're still in that POV from the locker. POV shot inside the locker, in the locker room, and then we reference the location. The policeman, reference me, opens the locker and reaches for a bottle. He stops as he touches it, and we hear Dave saying funny and loudly, "Happy birthday, my little princess." Shot 2, switching to handheld now. We're out of the locker and back in the room. Profile close-up of a policeman in uniform. Reference myself, who shuts down the locker door quickly. As the door closes, camera captures the other policeman, Dave, who stands right in front of the closed locker door. Policeman Dave continues his phrase, teasingly, "You want a cupcake or a parade maybe?" Shot 3, also handheld, wide shot of a policeman, Dave, and a policeman, Adil, who replies dryly, "It's just a regular day, man. Nothing special."
Happy birthday, my little princess! You want a cupcake or a parade, maybe?
It's just a regular day, man. Nothing special.
We'll fix the voices later and it's gonna blow your mind. All right, bad lying. That's the whole character in one sentence. You can't even let someone wish him happy birthday without shutting it down. I like everything here, so let's keep it. To continue, I want to get back to the over-the-shoulder shot. So I'm just gonna grab a screenshot from the second shot we got and use that same trick. Handheld again, we're staying in the conversation, keeping that loose energy. Dave, talking teasingly. Yeah, don't sound too excited. You could call dispatch, have him sing for you. Adele replies, please don't, I'm trying to keep a low profile today. Dave says in a fun way, too late, Princess turns a year older, that's paperwork. And Adele answers, great, added to the report, subject survived another year.
Yeah, don't sound too excited. We can call dispatch, have them sing for you.
Please don't. I'm trying to keep a low profile
Too
today.
late, Princess turns a year older. That's paperwork.
Great. Added to the report. Subject survived another year.
And look, that whole exchange happened in one shot. No cuts, just two guys in a locker room, one of them trying way too hard to pretend he's fine, and the other one not letting him get away with it. That's scene one done. Okay, scene two, different energy entirely. We're out of the locker room, we're in the car now. I want the scene to feel completely different visually, less cinematic and more raw, like the dash cam just happened to be rolling. So this time I'm trying a different workflow. Instead of writing the prompt myself, I'm just gonna go and describe what I want to Claude in plain words and let it build the actual prompt for me. Improve this prompt. Interior of a police car, dashboard, camera angle, looks like cheap surveillance footage. Bright sunlight, suburban neighborhood outside. That's it. Vague as heck. And Claude came back with this. Police cruiser interior, static wide shot from the dashboard. Well, you get the idea. I'll leave this full prompt in the description as well. But yeah, that's the move. If you know the feeling you want, Claude can help you convey that to the model. Let's bring that over to Soul Cinema and hit generate. I have another workflow that I want to try. I'm gonna bring this image into Cinema Studio, bring it as a start frame and add elements. My character sheet and Dave's character sheet. And I'm gonna do a simple prompt. Adele and Dave enter the car. That's it. Now we take that frame where both of them are sitting in the car and Adele is about to close the door and screenshot it and use it as the start frame. All right, first shot of scene two, static camera move. And for the prompt, interior police cruiser, daytime, slight DVR, body cam, dash cam look, soft overexposed sunlight through the windshield, handheld vibration. The curly-haired policeman on the left, reference myself, leans out the open door, pulls it shut, shifts into the seat, and starts the engine. The car hums to life. While this happens, the officer on the right, Dave, looks forward with a calm face and says in a deep, sarcastic tone, you know where I celebrate my birthday every year? I want a short beat. And the curly policeman, Adele, eyes still on the road, answers very dryly, no, why should I? Natural police radio ambience, slight engine vibration, casual patrol energy.
You know where I celebrate my birthday every year?
No. Why should I?
There we go. That's a detail most people would let slide, but don't. The whole point of that moment is that he's emotionally checked out. The second his eyes move, you kind of lose it. Before I continue this dialogue, I want to generate a couple of B-rolls. A couple shots just to let the scene breathe. Let's head over to Claude again. First one, dash cam POV of a suburban street, dry, flat neighborhood, midday sun. Second one, extreme close-up of a police radio mic clipped to a uniform, badge slightly out of focus, dark cinematic. And one more, A patrol car drives through a quiet suburban neighborhood. Seen from the side window, dry grass, palm trees, midday heat. And now we bring those over to Soul Cinema and generate them. Look at that. 3 images, the easiest B-roll of my life. Let's continue the dialogue. Soul Cinema is fantastic with short and simple prompts that you can use for inspiration in case you don't have a specific image in mind. But it's also fantastic with really long and complex prompts. It listens and follows the prompt accurately to a T. Okay, here I'm using the same keyframe from earlier, but the door is open. I don't want to bother generating a new keyframe, so I'm just gonna have him close the door at the beginning and then talk. We can cut that part out in the edit. I'm gonna try the dialogue in 1 take. We'll break it up with some B-roll later. Dave says, little Kazakh spot on the 5th, plastic tables, soup so hot it files a complaint. Adil says, sounds nice. Dave says, best noodles you ever had. You know what they call them? Adil answers dryly, noodles. I know we already generated this, but we're gonna overlap them later. It'll make sense, I promise. Dave says, with a little side eye, nah man, they got a name, fancy, cultural. Adil answers dryly, like mine? And Dave says quickly, like what?
Little Kazakh spot on 5th.
Plastic tables, soup so hot it files a complaint.
Sounds nice.
Best noodles you ever had, you know what they call them?
Noodles?
Nah, man, they got a name. Fancy, cultural.
Lagman.
Like what?
Casual conversations like this are a great way not only to loosen the tension, but also give your characters some lore and develop them a little bit. And you know, I had to bring in a bit of my culture, Lagman, you have to try it. Now let's take the B-roll from earlier, the radio. I want an interruption to pull them out of the birthday conversation and back into the job. Close-up of a police radio clipped to an officer's vest inside a moving patrol car. The radio crackles and the dispatch voice comes through. Unit 12, we got a 17 in progress, possible homicide. 1738 on scene. I have no clue what those numbers actually represent, but they sound cool.
Unit 12, we got a 17 in progress. Possible homicide, 1738 on scene.
There we go. One transmission and the whole tone shifts. While we're at it, let's animate the other 2 B-rolls as well. I'm not gonna even bother prompting, just run it as is. Fantastic. We can mix these in between the dialogue to make the scene more interesting. Actually, we could even have the speech itself overlap one of these shots. We'll see how it works best in the post-edit. And to close the scene, I need the cops to actually respond to the call. Adil turns the wheel hard, they make a sharp turn, dynamic shot, sudden shake. Dave holds the radio, listens, and then says at the end, 1738, roger that.
1738.
1738, roger that.
It's a short shot, but it does 2 things. First, it sets us up for the next scene with some dynamics. And second, it reminds us that these are actual cops on an actual shift. And that's a wrap for scene 2. The inspiration here were multiple movies that I've watched about cops. And I wanna, for each scene, use different visual identities and different color grading, different cameras, and kind of piece little bits of those movies together in my own short film. Okay, and for the last scene, I feel like just 2 characters aren't enough to finish the full story. Let's get me a wife, at least in the short film. I want her to feel grounded, present. We're going back to Soul Cinema with no Soul ID, just a close-up of a woman in her mid-20s. All right, yeah. She looks like she already knows something's wrong before I even say a word. That's exactly it. I'm gonna get her a character sheet as well, and let's name her Selena. Now the idea is that in the last scene, the wife and his friends are throwing him a birthday party, but he doesn't know it yet. So we have to connect scene 2 and scene 3. Now for this transition to work, We need to build up some suspense and tension. It needs to feel like there's an actual burglary happening in the building. So I'm gonna generate a multi-shot where the first scene is them in the car, but then they exit and we get an outside view from the dash cam where they kind of circle around the car and enter the building. Now for the location itself, we need a house. So I'm gonna get some help from Claude again. I'll go with a simple prompt, a dark hallway, closed door at the end, bright light leaking through all the edges of the door frame. And it came back with this really long prompt. Let's bring it over to Soul Cinema and generate. Okay, we got the location and I want the shot to feel like a mission because for our character, that's what everything feels like. For shot one, a policeman with a police shotgun enters the door slowly, like he's on a mission. Lights inside the houses are off. Then shot two. And this is the moment the whole film has been building to. Light switches on quickly and the camera captures a surprise party in the house. I'm gonna reference the house and close up of the woman. I'm gonna reference my wife with a cake with candles.
Surprise, honey.
And there's Selena, cake in hand, candles lit, very warm character. On the contrast, there's me, a guy who couldn't let his partner wish him happy birthday, who called himself subject, survived another year, who's been running on empty this whole time. He doesn't get to deflect this one. And you can see that subtle smile at the end and him finally breaking, a very touching moment. Okay, now let's bring everything over to DaVinci and put it all together. Some shots get trimmed, some get cut entirely. Not every generation made it. A few got mirrored because the composition just worked better flipped. This is the crucial part of the edit. And here's something I didn't expect. Halfway through the edit, I realized I was missing a couple shots for scene 3. So I just went back and generated them using the exact same workflow. That's the beauty here. Imagine if I was actually filming this and only realized that I was missing something during post-production. Getting the same lighting, same camera angles, heck, even some makeup on actors would be such a pain. Here, nothing is locked until you lock it. I'll leave all the prompts in the description so you can try them out yourself. Next, I'm splitting the audio into 2 separate tracks. One for me and one for Dave. Selena only has one line, so her voice stays as is. Now, let's bring it over to Higgsfield Audio and give it my voice. You can either upload a track of you speaking or record one right here. I've got a ton of videos of myself talking, so I'm gonna just grab one of those. Then I'm using Change Voice to process my entire audio track. One thing worth noting, it only changes the voice. The emotions, the pacing, the delivery, all of that stays exactly the same, which is exactly what we need here. For Dave, I'm just selecting one of the preset voices. There's one in there literally called Dave, so that was a no-brainer. And that's it. Picture and sound, done. Now, let's watch the full short film with the correct voices.
Happy birthday, my little princess. Want a cupcake or a parade, maybe?
It's just a regular day, man. Nothing special.
Yeah, don't sound too excited. We can call dispatch, have them sing for you.
Please don't. I'm trying to keep a low profile.
Princess turns a year older. That's paperwork.
Great. Added to the report. Subject survived another year.
So what's the plan today? No alcohol, right?
Ah, man.
You know where I celebrate my birthday every year.
No. Why should I?
Little Central Asian spot on 5th, plastic tables. Soup so hot it files a complaint.
Sounds nice.
Best noodles you ever had, you know what they call them?
Noodles?
Nah, man, they got a name. Fancy. Cultural.
Lagman.
Like what?
Unit 12, we got a 17 in progress. Possible homicide, 1738 on scene.
1738, roger that. Is that a cop car?
Yeah, might be.
first, I'll cover the back.
Surprise, honey.
3 scenes: a locker room, a police car, and a surprise he didn't see coming. No camera, no budget, just a feeling that I wanted to put on screen. And all the tools I needed to do so, all in one place. Now, I didn't show you all the bad takes, and there were a lot of them. Like this one, for example, or this one. That's just part of the process. You run it, you look at it, and then you tweak a thing or two in the prompt and run it again. That's the whole game. Iteration is the skill. Okay, now I want to hear from you. What short film would you make? Drop your concept in the comments. 3 sentences just like I did. The character, the location, and the moment. I'll pick 3 people with the most compelling ideas and give them a free ultimate plan so they can actually make it. And as always, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.